You need your phone?
Mm-hmm.
I think we'll get a drink too. Take mine.
Pour me, pour me, pour me another shot of whiskey. Bartender, hit me one last time.
I'll bet you're on my lights. I forgot to light this candle since she's on.
Come on.
I don't know how that's.
He
Where's
left.
that?
I cried.
Shut her down.
I'm lost.
Toaster at.
I don't know.
Caleb. Far a long way to run. So good. I don't know why we even turn this damn smoking lamp on. Ain't like we can see it on camera. Start moving this bitch. So much stuff to remember. Turn on. You ain't turn these on, man? Oh,
No.
Salsa. Gotcha. Okay. Go. It's a cross block. Cross chop, baby. Guess speaking of no ready meat, guess what I fell over here? So a needle pulling thread right here on the floor.
Oops.
Is that you? We're gonna take a look. We'll call this lady, brace this up.
Mm-hmm.
To go. Still recording. Oh, you can't see me on here.
Oh dear.
I'm gonna turn the camera over a little bit.
Yeah, just a little.
Where are I? Nice.
Nice.
Think that'd be all right?
Yeah, a little more.
Dude, trying to do it all flops over. Ah, yeah, it's not too bad, huh?
Mm-mm. We have to see the star of the show.
Yeah, I mean the eight of the E-14, you know, for a little while longer until I retire. I'm just a civilian.
Zero.
Zero.
Hero to zero.
Hero to motherfucking zero. Still okay? That ain't worth a fuck.
Alrighty.
Alrighty.
Alrighty. Hey everyone, welcome back to E-14 podcast. I'm Jamie Britt,
And I'm Heath Britt.
and together we're E-14 for a little bit longer. So we were just talking about Heath is
1 second on that shit.
Heath is retiring,
Yeah, I'm not going to change the name of the show though.
and we said he's going to go from hero to zero.
Yeah, but it's still going to be E14. All right, still ain't changing the name of the show. There's too much marketing. Too much marketing in that shit. And just because I retire don't mean I lose all the life lessons I learned in the 26 years of active duty Navy.
No, you stood the watch even before some of us were born to this world.
Probably a lot of people. Yeah, you were born when I was standing the watch. I mean, you were just really small.
Yeah.
Because I'm a player.
All right, so today you just have the two of us. That's why we're hackling and giggling and having a relaxed time.
And just so everybody knows, we're socially distancing.
Yes, I do have the COVID.
She was
It got
infected.
me.
It didn't get me though.
It got me. It didn't get the kids. It didn't get my coworkers. It just got me. So
She got it.
I think I've hit the mic like 2 or 3 times. Hopefully it hadn't made a noise.
You're already drunk. Oh.
I should be. Okay, so today's the first day I can actually taste. So I'm gonna give you a review of this beer because even though we're not doing cigars, ports, and the 7 Seas yet, I'm gonna give you a review.
Do it just because you can taste.
Just because I can taste. It's from Abita Springs Brewery, and it is a cherry limeade sour. And I'm really got into sours. And I'm gonna review something else for cigars, ports, and the 7 Seas, but I've really gotten into sours lately. They really sit well in my stomach. I don't get nauseated. I don't know what it is about the sour. I don't know how they make it, but it just feels good in my stomach. I really like them.
Yeah, I like them too. It's good.
All right. So today we're talking about embracing the suck.
I'm not drinking nothing, right? I mean, just forget about me.
Well, you acted like I was encroaching on our cigars.
No,
okay.
no.
Go ahead then.
I'm not going to talk about it. I'm drinking some Knob Creek
All right.
rye.
Oh, Knob Creek rye.
Bueno.
All right. So today we're going to talk about embracing the suck, which is a slang term that we use in the military. I think it goes across all branches, but not a lot of like civilians know what it means when we say embracing the suck. And we're going to talk about that.
Yes, let's talk about embracing the suck.
After a word from our sponsors.
Welcome everybody back to E14, where we're talking about embracing the suck.
So,
I mean, hey, can I just say something real quick? I don't want to steal the show.
Yeah.
But Jamie has been embracing a lot of suck
lately.
Therefore, as her husband, I've also been embracing the suck because happy wife, happy life.
Yeah.
Unhappy wife, unhappy life.
So it all started in January 2021 when we thought after 2020 was so with the virus and everything, we thought it was going to just magically get better on January 1st. But for us, it didn't. We had some family issues in January. Heath had a stroke in February. Let's see, March, April, I think we were just dealing with the stroke. And then in May, I fell and got a concussion.
No, that was June.
Oh, May. Okay. End of May or
No,
June. It was June.
Early mid.
Well, now I don't remember. But
she had a concussion.
Anyway, we thought I had an aneurysm for a while, and now I've got COVID. So it's been a hell of a 2021, I think. The boys missed their first day of school.
Yeah, because they're quarantined.
But we're going to get back on track and reclaim.
Well, I'm sucking too. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I could have gotten out of 10 days of work. But no, I was on leave. So it really doesn't do any good. Now I'm quarantined, but I was on leave anyway. So I don't really get out of work. I was already off work. So
blast. But you did not pick up Master Chief.
I'm a failure.
No, you're not a failure. It is God's timing.
I'm a loser.
And he is retiring after 26 years of service, which is nothing to sneeze at. But anyway, Embracing the suck means basically that it sucks, but we're gonna do it anyway. And it is kind of like it's kind of a attitude adjustment or reminder to adjust your attitude, because a lot of things that we do, whether it's civilian or military, just flat out suck.
Yeah.
And then you could complain about it, you could feel terrible about it, but you got to do it anyway. So what's the point?
Right. I mean, bitch and whine, just get it done.
Right.
Right. I mean,
that's embracing it.
Embracing just getting it done, just like putting your head forward and just swinging through it, because you gain nothing by procrastinating. Right.
Right. And it's actually a Buddhist principle.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was a military thing.
It is a military thing, the wording, yeah. But it's a Buddhist principle or a concept. And they say in the Buddhist culture, when we deny what reality is giving us, what is really happening, then we create suffering. So life is a dance between minimizing expectations and surrendering to what our lives actually reveal to us. So a lot of times we expect things to be a certain way. That's why we're like, oh, I don't want to do that, or I don't want to go through that. But nobody said it was going to be perfect
or easy
or that we were going to enjoy different parts of our work, you know?
Exactly. That goes with anything else that gets thrown at you. You're not going to enjoy it. It's a trial, it's a tribulation.
Yeah. And I guess on the internet, I was kind of reading the history of it and stuff, and they really started bringing it out in the Iraqi Freedom War, Operation Iraqi Freedom. And it's both an implied order, the internet says, and wise advice. So I think it's more like when a leader's putting out something and they know it sucks. They know what they're asking of you. They know it's terrible. And so it's a implied order, like, hey, suck it up. Deal with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also advice. Like, come on, let's change our attitude. Let's look at it a different way, you know, and let's keep it going. And for 26 years in the Navy, I'm sure you've had a lot of embracing this moments.
Of course. But when I was putting it out to the guys or gals, I would just say, yeah, this sucks. I would admit, yeah, this is shitty. But you know what? We still got to do it. So let's get it done. You know, I acknowledged it sucked.
Yeah. I mean, well, that is what embracing the suck actually is acknowledgement that, what we're about to do is not going to be easy. You will not like it.
Nope.
But we're going to do it anyway.
Yeah. And let's try to have fun doing it, which you never really have fun doing it, but you can try.
Yeah. So I'm looking up I actually found an article that was 8 ways to deal with embracing the suck. And I kind of liked it because it just gives you some ideas of how to deal with things and take it in stride. And I think that is one of our key forms of resilience, is that with everything that we have gone through personally and professionally, we just keep taking it in stride, because I guess we just don't manage our expectations.
Yeah, that's the biggest issue. We don't manage them very well. When
you're used to getting the suck, you kind of just get used to dealing with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take a minute here and find this.
I'll tell you, I'm thinking back, one of the biggest, suckiest thing I had to do is when I was getting ready for an inspection on the ship back in 2012, and we were in Japan. So I had 37 people working with me on this, and it was a huge inspection. And the thing about it is, before I got in that position, before I got to the ship, they had just failed that same inspection.
Wow.
So this is the remake.
Mm-hmm.
And here I am, brand new Chief Petty Officer Britt, friggin' getting pulled 10 ways from Sunday. Anyway, I tell the guys, look, this is going to suck, But you had a lot of sea lawyers, right? Oh, you don't do it this week. I said, look, just whenever I say, just freaking do it. If I tell you to do something, just freaking do it. Because I don't have time to explain to you why I'm telling you to do it. We're kind of on a time crunch. We got through. We got through it though. A lot of people did well, and it made the rest of their time on that ship good because they had a good reputation. A lot of awards were given out for those guys and gals that helped out, and got
So
through
how'd you do it? How'd you go about it?
I just
you learned your job first?
you got to learn your job, and I didn't take a day off for like 5 months.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just worked my ass off. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just worked 12 hours a day, every day, Monday through Saturday through Saturday, Sunday through Sunday, however you want to say it, and got through it. But yeah, it was hard.
I've seen that a lot when your division or whatever it is that you're going to take over is going the wrong direction. It's like you have to do an abrupt maneuver to get them going in the right direction. And a lot of times the sailors are like, what? We're not used to that. You're literally pumping the brakes from going one direction and turning everything.
I'll reverse.
Yeah. And
full speed reverse.
It's not something that the sailors truly like, especially when they're used to doing their own thing. And but
I remember I was chewing that ass out, and it wasn't just my division, it was a shipwide thing. So this was people from all over the ship, right? And I was chewing that ass out because they did it their own way, and we had a mock inspection with the same people that got respect, but this was like months earlier, right? And we had our asses handed to us. I had just taken over that position, and I was in there. I said, I told y'all, if you just effing do what I tell you to do, you'll be fine. But y'all went on y'all's own way. I said, if I effing tell you to do something, just do it. And I looked up at the end of we were in the chief's mess. At the end of the chief's mess, there was the XO standing there. I just lit their ass up, and XO was like, he just nodded his head at me and just walked out. I was like,
sir.
Sir.
Hey, sir.
I didn't even know that I was going off. I didn't realize he was in there. Nodded his head.
All right, so let's talk about these 8 ways of how you can deal with embracing the South, or embracing this. Embrace our mantra. Okay. The first one, you have to figure it out. No matter what is in front of you, you have to figure out a way to overcome it in order to make any kind of progression. So, a lot that just goes to don't quit. And this is developinggoodhabits.com, but that just kind of goes to don't quit. You have to figure it out.
Yeah.
You can't just stop living.
No.
Planes are still flying. Like I always said that when we were in air traffic control, if you what we call lose the picture and you don't know who's who and who's up in the air, you can't just freeze. You gotta find a spot and start working it until you get the picture back, because you can't just stop talking.
No.
They're still flying. They're still going.
No silence on the line, right?
Right. So you got to figure it out, and you got to find a way to, find out who is where, and then start working it from there, and then regain the picture. Number 2, perseverance. When you're doing something that you don't want to do, it's easy to think, why am I putting myself through this? Well, there's a lot of things we don't want to do, like run.
There's been times that I was like, what the hell am I, screw this?
And especially when you see everyone else so lackadaisical. Like I'm sure on your ship, when everyone had already failed, the morale was probably low, and they're like, who cares?
Yeah.
Just fail again. We already failed, so who cares if we get it right, And when they're lackadaisical, it's so easy for you to become that way and start acting like, who cares? We'll do our best, but that's it.
Even if you don't go that route, you don't, only one person can only do so much.
Right.
It's a team effort. So there's one guy that's going to take the blame, but one guy can't succeed, or without one gal can't succeed by themselves.
Yeah.
Even though you'll take all the blame if you fail, but you can't succeed without the team.
And it's hard. You've got to get the buy-in from the team, and you got to get them to trust you.
That's why you got to be 100% in. But you better be working harder, as hard or harder than they are.
Yeah. I agree. You can create mental toughness. That's number 3. We know this because we do this in the Navy all the time and in the military. But it suggests dealing with and creating friction in your life will help you build this sense of mental toughness. So that word friction, it actually comes like from the history of embracing the suck. And it was a Peruvian guy. I'm gonna go back here. I hope I don't lose my place. But it was a Peruvian guy, and he was like the first one to call embracing the suck or the suck and refer to it as fiction or friction. Clausewitz was his name. And then General Clausewitz was from Peru, and he was the main person to understand the suck of war. So having to tell his guys to do something that he knew was, actually really tough. And he said that everything in war is very simple, but the simplest thing is difficult. The difficulties accumulate and end by producing a kind of friction that is inconceivable unless one has experienced war. So a lot of times when we're talking about embracing the suck, it's because we've already endured so much bad stuff or things we didn't want to do. And we've endured and endured and endured it. And then we're asking to endure it one more time, or to go even further, to give even more. And that's a hard thing to ask of somebody. Or
They have to have a lot of love for that person in charge, or a lot of respect for them to put themselves through that time and time again.
Yeah. And that's number 4 is practice enduring the struggles. So that kind of leads right into that. Practice enduring. Have you ever noticed that it's on your days that you feel your best, that you decide to go above and beyond? These are the days that you decide to start a new project. We often excel on these days when everything is falling into place. However, if this is the only time you practice doing things that you normally wouldn't want to do, you won't be prepared when you have to do it.
True. So you got to be ready to excel even when you're not feeling your best, is basically what that says, right?
Yeah.
Put yourself in that position where you have to struggle a little bit. So you're practicing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Muscle memory. I want to circle back to what was the point before?
The point, number 3 was
mental toughness, right?
Yeah, well, you can create mental toughness.
I want to talk about real quick how important mental toughness is. It's so important that Naval Special Warfare has a program. They pay doctors to help their sailors push past their mental breakdown. As far as working out, pushing past where your mind says no, but your body could probably go further. They convince these men and women that they can go past their mental breakdown. That's how important. They're spending a lot of money on this.
I think I've seen that in my life, and I've talked about this before whenever I'm really afraid of heights. And I was flying in an Osprey, and I wanted to go to the edge of the back gate. It's always open. I wanted to go to the edge and see the ocean, and I couldn't push past the fear of heights. I couldn't make my legs move. They still moved. I just couldn't do it. So it was actually a Marine that was standing there that grabbed my hand and pulled me along. And I just want to say that, because if there is a point where you can't go on, that's where your shipmates are important. And you need to be able to see that your partner or your coworker is at that point where they can't go on. And maybe they just need a hand to pull them along just a little bit to break through, to break through that. But anyway, back to practicing enduring the struggles. That they always say you never rise to the occasion. You always sink to your highest form of training. So if you're not practicing on enduring these struggles, you're going to break.
Yep. It's just like any event, like anytime we training for war.
Right.
Right. You did a story by the retired Navy SEAL.
Mm-hmm.
He practiced failing.
Yeah.
So when they went to take out Osama bin Laden, right? He failed. Coop. Yeah, they failed. They actually wrecked, but they had practiced wrecking so much during the preparation that they knew exactly what to do after they wrecked.
And we alluded to that because we use the F word when you're used to getting
Fucked.
when you're used to getting that way, the little annoyances that we see or that we kind of make fun of civilians for getting all up in arms about, we're like, dude, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
And that's our mentality, is because when you're used to getting railed constantly, it's like, oh, well, it's just one more thing. It's not that bad. What are you talking about? Why are you getting all yeah. And then number 5, engage with the sucky work. Is there a tedious task you have to do at home on a regular basis? Or perhaps you find your weekly team meeting at work to be a complete waste of time? This is a good instance in which you can choose to adjust your attitude to make the situation seem better.
I can relate a little bit to the team meetings or the meetings you have at work. It's not going to get any better if you're in the corner thinking about how much this sucks. Interact with it, right?
Yeah.
Freaking pass the time, talk about it. Whatever bothers you, bring it up. Maybe we should try it this way. Engage yourself into this meeting. Maybe it won't be so bad. It go by a lot faster.
So this is a treasure that every sailor knows, whether you are sweeping the deck or, I don't know, polishing the brass. We find a way to make it fun. We will find every sucky opportunity to make it fun. So like you were talking about with the lines, somebody will say something stupid and you'll all start laughing, and you might be in the middle of just the worst,
stripping and waxing decks.
Yeah, 110 degree heat or whatever, but you're all in the suck together. So why not make it fun? Somebody will put on some music, start dancing with their mop. Whatever.
Until they slow dance with the mop, that gets a little weird.
It's just got awkward. Okay. We're just gonna go back to stripping and waxing. Yeah, but engage with the set.
Engage it.
Hey, change your attitude about it. Act like you like it and fake it till you make it, right?
Right. Use that reverse psychology, because if you like it, they might not make you do it again. If they think you like it.
All right, number 6. Accept personal responsibility for your feelings. If you're doing something that you really dislike, ask yourself, how would my best self get through this situation? I don't know. That's kind of dumb, but
yeah, I don't like
accept personal responsibility for your feelings. How would my best self get through this situation? Okay. Yeah, like if all the
stars
pieces were aligning and you were feeling 100%, how would you?
I'd still think this would suck. That's stupid.
Okay, let's go. Number 7, build a routine. If you're embracing the suck, it means that you are engaging with it on a regular basis. If you get into the routine of persevering through things you don't want to do, it will keep you going in the right direction. We already said that. So
yeah,
that's part of the mental toughness and just getting through it. And then number 8, exceed expectations. They talk about David Goggins here. He makes a really good point about people's attitude towards life and work. He said, we live in a world where mediocrity is often rewarded. These men appear to test mediocrity, so meaning the SEALs.
Yeah.
Think about your job, your outside responsibilities, and your family life. Are you satisfied with the status quo? How can you do more in your life to embrace the suck and build your mental strength? I like that.
That's good.
Because a lot of times, because we get so stuck on the status quo or the mediocrity, that's where our expectations lie. And so we're like, well, I don't want to go above and beyond. That's dumb. That's not where I want to be. But that's just because we're so used to being at that mediocrity level, you know?
Yeah. You should always strive for excellence. Is that what kind of what he's saying, right? So don't just do your job, right?
And
What
do some more.
and more outside, like take charge of this property and all government property in view. Not just what you are around, but what you can see.
Right.
That's our first general order, by the way. So just throwing that out there.
Oh.
26 years.
He still remembers.
That's the only one I remember.
It's true. We need to manage our expectations, and we need to exceed our expectations in order to not get so confined in this box. Because when you really think about it, when you say this is sucks, or this is what I don't want to do, or I don't want to, like, you're limiting yourself to a box.
Yeah.
You're putting yourself in a box, and you're just you're not going above and beyond in your life, in your family, in your relationships, or whatever it may be.
You're not doing your best.
Right.
And it's okay. What they say, give 100% of what you can every day.
Yeah.
Maybe you're 100% on Tuesday is not as good as you're 100% on Wednesday, but you're giving 100%. That's all anybody can ever ask.
And I always tell myself, thank you, squared away me, because when I'm having a really terrible day, some of that stuff from Monday carries over to Tuesday. Or whatever. So I always tell myself, thank you, squared away me, because I saved my butt a lot by being good on my good days and doing my best on my bad days.
Right. That's a good way to be.
Yeah.
If you're always doing your best, most of the time you're going to be okay. Yeah. Right.
So hopefully you learn to embrace the suck and go forth and do great things this week.
Hope so.
And change your attitude.
Change your damn attitude.
So with that, we'll wish you
we're
not going to do that.
No, we're not done yet.
We're going to go into this cool theme music right now.
No. Yep. I'm going to tell a damn story, whatever it is.
All right.
Oh, you don't want me to tell a story?
No, I do. I'm going to get a different drink to review.
We're not reviewing a drink. I'm just telling. Oh, you want to review a drink? Oh.
We're getting ready for Cigar Sports in the 70s.
I didn't get what you were getting at.
Dense.
I'm not doing my best today. Can I help you? Yes.
I didn't know that. I came down here looking for a snack. I'm just gonna take this up there and come back down with it. Oh, okay. Go branch, you were. I know, I was gonna do. Hurry up, get it. I didn't want to pour them.
Chicken wing.
Came down for a snack.
Pour that for you. What are you doing? Could have poured that for you. Yeah, you never had them?
No, good.
I don't have paper towels. Never had them either.
No, I mean, are they like good?
Oh, here's
November 15th. I should have. We all done with y'all's fun?
No, we're not. I'm waiting on you to leave. Hey, read the room, Cody. Cody, can you leave?
I'm hungry. I don't want to go out to eat either. Still on the edge of the stairs.
Or the living room.
Eat it over the sink like a rat.
Yeah, like a rat. You know, all you're gonna hear is.
I don't think that'll catch. I think it'd be all right. I'll take that in your room. You heard me? Dude, you better come on, man. Go to.
I'll eat vanilla wafers here and I'll bring down the trash.
Whatever your mom says, I think it's disgusting personally. That's just disgusting.
Welcome.
To Cigar Sports and 7Cs. Also hashtag CP7S.
Yes, if you would like to be featured on our Instagram with your cigar or drink choice that maybe you were inspired to have, please hashtag us at CP7S and we will feature you on our Instagram to all 5 of our followers.
Both of them. We got a
I
baker.
said 5. You said both
I
of
think we got a baker's dozen.
them. Yes, we will feature you on our page. So
How much is a baker's dozen? Like 8?
13.
Oh,
you
my bad.
weirdo.
Sorry.
A dozen.
Well, baker's dozen.
Yeah.
It's 13?
Yes.
I didn't know.
Anyway, what are you drinking?
I don't want to talk about it. You annoyed me. You go first.
All right. So I'm having a seltzer and super excited about this because, every beer company is making seltzers. So I'm just working my way through all my favorite beers and trying their seltzers. And I've been really pleased with most all of them. Right now, the one that I'm enjoying is from Abita. Because we're only about 30 minutes away from Abita Springs Brewery. And so Heath can run over there and get us all of the latest pilot brews and all of their special only in the tap room growlers. So we've been doing that, but they have a watermelon seltzer.
Is that made by Beta though?
Yeah. It's a watermelon seltzer.
Made by Beta. Okay.
Well, I don't know. Check the can.
I don't get up. I threw it away.
I was going to read off the can, but somebody threw it away.
Well, yeah, because it was dripping. You made a mess.
But anyway, it's a watermelon seltzer. I've been really into watermelon,
I'm so in the watermelon.
all summer long. Another one of my favorites this summer has been the watermelon goss from Terrapin Brewery
Out of Georgia. Athens,
yeah.
I think.
And so I saw the watermelon seltzer and I just had to have a taste. So I'm gonna have a taste right now and tell you what I taste, if I can taste anything at all.
Like we said earlier, she's getting over the COVID.
Well, it's a nice light watermelon taste.
Is it because you have COVID or is it because
I have no idea. Do not trust my
you're doing a review, but you can't taste shit
or smell it.
Wow.
I smell a light watermelon.
I smell water.
Just try it for yourself then, if you don't believe me.
I would take a sip, but you already drank out of it. I'll catch your
Yeah.
cooties.
Well, that's all I got for you then today, folks.
Well, just coming back, if you actually smelled and taste some watermelon, that means you're doing a
I
lot
caught
better.
a whiff of it.
That's good. That's better than you were yesterday.
Mhm.
Hell of a lot better than you were a few days ago.
Yeah, I'll say.
Your nose was blind a few days ago. Could not smell anything. Come ago. I'm drinking, like I said earlier when we were talking about embracing the suck, I was drinking some Knob Creek rye whiskey. It's good stuff. Kentucky stuff, Kentucky whiskey. I'm gonna hit it real quick. Smooth, pretty smooth, 100 proof. So that's 50.5% alcohol by volume. Lot of vanilla in here, a little oak. Pretty slow, oily. Not want to say oily, but the legs on it are really slow. So it gives you a good little hug at the end, and it's good. I love the bourbon. I bought the rye. Good stuff. I highly recommend it. Knob Creek's good whiskey. Yeah.
So for our viewers on Patreon, I'm going to get up and I'm going to turn the camera to the bar because Heath now has a bourbon and whiskey bar. So I'm going to let the viewers on Patreon have a look.
Then we'll figure out how to get it on Patreon, right? After
Yeah.
you show that.
After
Okay.
that.
It's legit.
See that sign?
So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Oops. And move it off the air.
No, we can hear us. I can't see us. There we
Okay.
go.
So now it's crooked, but anyway. Keep talking.
Yeah. So yeah, Jamie's really been doing a lot of work in this bar to make it appealing to the eye. So we got a cool sign. We got some bottles, some good whiskey. got some Navy nostalgia. You see the goat in the back with the hat hanging on it. That's a goat because being a chief petty officer in the Navy, they call us goats. That's an African goat she got from Djibouti.
Yeah, they have long horns.
Yeah.
African goats, small face, big horn.
Also got some headshots up here. We're a big deal.
Yeah, for our listeners,
Yeah.
no big deal,
No.
but we've got a badass bar.
Yeah.
And we've got the bell to
And
ring
we got the bell.
whenever the bar is open.
And I don't hear no bell.
All right.
Jamie's got to ring the bell because the bar is open because I'm drinking. Obviously, it's open, right?
Oh yeah, I can ring it for everyone if you want.
Please.
Yeah.
Will it reach? Don't. Is she gonna ring it? Oh, gosh, like you broke something.
Oh,
Shit.
shit.
That shit hurt. There you go. There you go.
The old Navy bell.
That's right. And
All
if you show up in my bar with your hat on, you got to buy us all around. But it's free because it's my bar and you can use my booze.
All right.
So let me talk about a cigar I smoked the other day real quick. I don't have one to show. I smoked them both because it was good. So I took some notes though, so that's cool.
And also due to my ailments, we've missed. Well, we did get one recording done last week, but it is only exclusive to Facebook.
Yeah, we just
So-
did because it was only like
Follow us on Facebook.
12 or 13 minutes. It was good though. It had a lot of stuff, but it just was 12 or 13 minutes.
Yeah, so follow us on Facebook if you'd like to see that episode. It's exclusive.
So this is the Oliva series. They call it V. I call it 5. Especial Liga de Lancero. So it's a 7 by 38. So long, thin, right?
Mhm.
At light up, I got a medium to full body. So it's not super strong, but it has a little kick to it, right? It's good stuff. Smooth, snug draw at first. Like it took me a while. When I say a snug draw, you gotta give I don't say suck on it, that's so dirty, but you gotta puff on it pretty hard.
You got it, yeah.
To get it, but it loosens up pretty quick. Woody notes, slight pepper to the finish. If you remember when I talked about the aging room last one, super peppery. This one's peppery, but not as peppery as that one. So just a hint. That was at light up. So the first third started getting kind of sweet. I couldn't really place the sweet notes, but it had a sweet note to it. Draws a lot easier. Still a pepper and a cinnamon. Had a little cinnamon in there.
Yum.
Still woody. Great burn lines. Did not burn uneven. Perfect burn line. Second, third. Great burn continued. Some notes, same notes as the first third, but had a little coffee.
Huh.
Sweet, maybe molasses or syrup kind of a taste to it, a hint to it. Pepper, and it stayed about medium body.
You know, that's what I don't get about, and I'm not a cigar smoker, obviously, but I don't understand the pepper. Like all of that sounds great except for the pepper.
It tingles.
Oh,
It tingles on the
just
back of your tongue,
spice.
the spice, right? And then when you retrohale out your nose, you get a little bit of burn. Not painful, but you know it's there.
Like a pepper burn.
Yeah, right. Same
Mhm.
thing as if you're eating it. The final third was a little cocoa coffee, stayed medium to full bodied. Great smoke, a lot of smoke output. Smoke smelled pretty good actually. It wasn't too bad. And I smoked both of them, so it was good. Normally I smoke one, I keep one to show.
Yes,
But I've been into the thinner cigars, like not the big fat cigars. I don't know why. I've kind of into that lately. And I saw it sitting there. I was like, man, it looks good. So I smoked it.
is that the snug? Is it the thinner they are, the snugger?
Not necessarily. It just happened
Oh.
that was snug at first, but as soon as I started smoking on it, it loosened up. And it had a
Hmm.
great smoke output, creamy smoke output. It was great.
Oh wow.
Yes.
So I'm ready for today's story because
Oh,
I'm so
okay, first of all, you so what?
excited.
Yeah,
You've been
it's-
telling me bits and pieces, and I'm like
Yeah.
intrigued
So
now.
baby, full disclosure, get your editing skills ready.
Mm,
I'm just telling you.
dang it.
So thank you, my buddy Alex Flores, retired chief quartermaster, U.S. Navy, hit me up, gave me a quote by Stephen Decatur, who is a badass sailor from back in the days of yore. When I say days of yore, I mean Quasi War, Barbary War, War of 1812. He was a Navy Commodore.
Oh.
So the difference, you got a Navy captain who's in charge of a ship, right?
Mhm.
He runs the ship. Commodore, back then they called a squadron of ships. So maybe 3 or 4 ships that they were in charge of. So they were in charge like 3 or 4 captains. So it was above a captain,
Mhm.
but below the admiral, right? So still a big ass deal.
So in today's Navy, we do have
Commodores.
aviation Commodores,
Yeah.
and we have, surface.
Surface ship Commodores,
Yeah,
yes.
and I'm sure submarine.
Yeah, they have
Commodores too.
Commodores too. We had one,
Yeah.
the Commodore of Subron 22 when I was on the MRS land, a subtender out of
Yeah.
Italy back in the day. So yes.
Yeah,
all
we
have
got them in
Commodores.
recruiting too. So higher than a captain, so higher than the division, or so higher than the command,
Yeah,
and lower than the admiral.
Right. So
That's
he's
where
that-
the Commodore is.
he's that in between the admiral and the
So maybe like
command officer.
2 to 3 commands under him.
Yeah.
And then the admirals over.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yep. Perfect description. So this is Stephen Decatur, so a naval Commodore. So before we get started, I'm gonna let everybody know this guy was so big they named 5 ships after him.
Jeez.
5 ships are named after Stephen Decatur and 17 U.S. cities. Now, I didn't actually look at each city and see if they were actually named after Stephen Decatur,
Mhm.
but there are a few of them that I did. At least
What
2 or
about
3
Decatur Street in New Orleans?
named after Stephen Decatur. I
What?
did just yep, right there in New Orleans in the French Quarter,
Uh-huh.
named after Stephen Decatur, the Navy Commodore.
Well, hot damn.
He was a big deal.
Yeah.
He fought in some big wars. He was a badass. Let's talk about it.
Okay.
So he was born in Maryland on January 5th, 1779. His daddy, Stephen Decatur Sr. Sorry, Poe just walked in, her dog. Stephen Decatur Sr. was also a Navy Commodore during the American Revolution.
Wow.
So after that, this is 1779, so we're already America, right? So
Mhm.
we're done with the Brits. So he is now a merchant marine sailor. So he had, after Stephen Jr. was born, he was in the merchant marine, so he was done with his Navy time. So about a little bit of a backstory. So young Stephen at 8 years old developed whooping cough. So
Oh.
the tonic for that, or the cure, was salt water. So Daddy Senior took Stephen Jr. out. I'm gonna go into Europe, so I'm gonna take him with me. I want to
Took him on the ship.
Took him on the ship. All that salt water cured him.
Wow.
That was a deadly disease back then.
Wow.
This was a big deal, but he got cured. The salt water, constant salt water going across the Atlantic.
I'm gonna use
cured
that
him.
as a recruiting tool now. Hey man, if you got whooping cough, join the Navy.
That's right. That's good. Yeah, that's a good selling point. So Stephen obviously went to elementary, high school, was not a great student, barely got his high school degree, barely got through high school. So he was pretty, not say lazy, but he didn't care about the school stuff much. But when he got into the University of Pennsylvania, he started buckling down, did pretty well. But he wanted to hit the seas. He had his daddy's blood in him. He was ready to hit the 7 seas. So he dropped out of college after a year and joined a shipbuilding firm.
Okay.
But the shipbuilding firm, the people in charge, Gurney and Smith, were friends of Daddy. So they got him a job overseeing the building of the USS. I told you have to get that the frigate USS United States.
Okay.
So
one of the first.
Right, the frigate. It was so let's talk about pre-Constitution.
Yeah.
time frame.
Well, the USS United States was along with that. The first 5.
Yeah, first 5. Right,
Yeah.
right. The first 5. Right. So after that was built in 1797, he became a midshipman, which is, what you do before you actually join the Navy. You kind of in between
Yep.
on the USS United States. So he helped oversee the building of it. Then he became a midshipman on it, young age. This is like 18 years old. So you got to think at this time, America had won its independence from Britain, as I said before. So Britain wasn't giving U.S. any backing, wasn't helping them with military. It was all on America to do
So they
this.
weren't our allies at that time.
Well, they weren't really. We weren't enemies, but they didn't owe us their protection.
Okay.
You got what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So French were pissed. First of all, why we were still trading with Britain, right?
Mm-hmm.
We were still, they buy our stuff, we buy their stuff, we trade with each other. We wasn't buddies, but we did business together.
We were cordial.
Cordial, if you will, right? So French were pissed, like, Why the hell we just got in a war because the French helped us in the American Revolution. We
Yeah.
just got in a war with these guys. What, 20 years ago? Or not even 20, 10 years ago? And you still owe us money for helping you. America wasn't paying it, so French were pissed. Very pissed off. So basically what the French were doing, they would take like if they saw American merchant ships trading with Britain, they would go ambush the ships and take it.
Wow.
And this kept
That's
going
petty.
on. That is because they had a strong Navy, right? They're a lot older than us, a lot more people than us. So they had a strong Navy. They're right up there with the Brits. So if they saw American merchants trading with the British merchants, they would just take it. So fast forward a little while, let's talk about the Quasi War. So 1798 to 1800-ish was the Quasi War. Quasi meaning like pretend, I guess.
Or
Semi war. So it was kind of it was kind of just between French and America, right? France and America. So at the time, Stephen Decatur is a lieutenant. So while the United States, the USS United States, the ship was getting repairs and refitting, they told Stephen, stay behind and recruit people because we need to get the French, right?
Oh, he was on recruiting duty?
He was just like recruiting people old school way. They're like, hey, get off of this ship and come work with us,
Oh,
right?
wow,
Like
yeah.
these merchant ships or whatever. We need sailors. Get your ass over here and come on to USS United States, right? Or whatever. So he pissed off this old boy, the chief mate or the first mate, kind of the guy in charge of the deck guys on the ship, right? Whatever. I forgot. I don't think they ever said what ship it was on. So that guy challenged him to a duel.
Well done.
Common practice back then. That's how officers sold it. American officers, if they had a problem with each other, they would do a duel, shooting guns and shit.
Wow.
Yeah. So this
To
guy
the death.
to the death, right?
Well, that escalated quickly.
So what happened right before that, the chief mate said, was kind of cussing, dogging out Decatur, dogging out his family, dogging out the United States Navy, saying some nasty things. So Decatur was like, you know what? I'm gonna back out. I don't want to cause no trouble. I left. Talks to his daddy, senior. Daddy said, no, he disgraced your family. He disgraced the U.S. Navy. You got to duel his ass.
Yeah, get him.
So they dueled. So Decatur said, look, Decatur was a badass shot. Decatur's like, I'm not gonna kill the guy. I'm just gonna wing him. I'm gonna hit him in his leg or something, right? So I think it was 8 paces. I can't remember, but they did their paces, turn around. Old boy shot. Decatur shot, hit him right in the thigh, just winged him, just wounded him. So he got to leave with a clear conscience, no fatalities.
Okay.
And he got his guys. And he hopped on the Norfolk a little bit later. He hopped on the USS Norfolk. Well, he originally hopped on the United States, but it suffered some damage during gale force winds, just matched up. So while he was getting refitted and fixed, he hopped on the Norfolk. The USS Norfolk went out to the West Indies, captured 25 and killed 25, destroyed and captured 25 different French ships trying to attack American merchants.
Go ahead, Norfolk.
Brought their ass back. So he is a hero, right?
Right.
So that kind of ended around 1800. That Quasi War ended, and then we got into Barbary Wars, the wars of Barbary. Now, in Barbary, it's the area north Africa.
Okay.
You got 3 or 4 countries. You got Algiers, Tunis, Tripoli, and sometimes Morocco. It's right when you go through the Straits of Gibraltar or Spain. It's that little straits of water between Spain and Africa, right in that North Africa part. So right south of the Straits of Gibraltar. So they were starting on some shit. They pretty much waged war on America. They during one time, the USS Philadelphia had gone aground.
Dang.
Right on this reef out of nowhere near Tripoli. So the Tripoli Navy saw them, captured the ship, and put it back to Tripoli in their harbor, stole it.
Oh.
So February, this was 1804, or I want to say early 1804, late 1803. Actually, I think it was October 1803. So February 1804, on board the USS Intrepid, oh boy, Decatur said, I'm gonna get that ship back. They are not going to freaking take our ship. Right?
Hell yeah.
So him and his crew, 80 volunteers, most of them Marines, shores of Tripoli.
Yeah.
A lot of Marines there.
It's in their song.
It is. It's kind of their thing. USS Siren was their like cover fire ship to
Okay.
back them up. These guys were so sneaky, baby. They dressed the ship up like a Maltese merchant ship
What?
carrying British colors. So it looked like a,
That's legit. That's like some old school
That
Black
is-
Pearl type.
Exactly.
Parts of the Caribbean.
Exactly. That was really, really smart, right? That was some
Right.
guerrilla warfare there, this sneak attack. So they even had a Sicilian piloting officer. Now, the piloting officer is the guy that when you pull into a foreign port, they get on board so they can talk to the harbors and the people, coming in. So they
Like
can.
the PR guy.
He's
Like,
a PR, but he
or
speaks their
PAO,
language.
Yeah.
He
mhm.
speaks their language. So, I know we
Yeah.
always we pulled into Thailand. We had the pilot officer that was Thai
Uh-huh.
or whatever come in so he can speak their language when they're talking over the radio.
Yeah.
So this guy was Sicilian, but he spoke Arabic. What do you think they spoke in Tripoli?
Arabic.
Arabic. Everything was, and they were even dressed up like Maltese merchant marines. They were even dressed up in their clothes.
Wow.
So they're pulling into Tripoli Harbor, and they get permission to just roll on in. Because they said their excuse was they lost their anchor in a storm. They needed some safe haven so they can get it fixed in Tripoli. Oh, waved them on in. So they got close.
Like a Trojan horse.
Yeah, exactly. They got close enough to board the Philadelphia with swords, sabers, took over, killed like 20 people, took a couple hostage. And they got in close enough and they realized this sumbitch is not seaworthy.
The Philadelphia?
The Philadelphia was not
Oh,
seaworthy
geez.
because their foremast was gone. And while they
They
were,
should have done some recon. That was before the days of recon.
look, they did pretty good.
Yeah, they did their best.
I like they had radar.
Right.
but their foremast I think was gone. I think while they ran aground, they were trying to get from aground, so they lightened the load and knocked all their guns off to make it lighter.
Goodness.
So there was no weapons. They were like, all right, old Commodore Preble, ship named after him. He was a Commodore at the time. Said, if you can't steal it, burn it.
Yeah.
So they burned it. So they couldn't use their ship or get more of their technology or whatever reason.
Hey, we do that in today's Navy.
If I can't have it, nobody can have it.
Yep.
kind of
Burn
thing.
it.
They burned the hell out of it. Not one fatality on the Decatur's team. So during the burning, the siren was fire cover, right?
Mhm.
During the confusion, they were able to burn it. You hop back on the siren and roll out.
What about the prisoners?
I couldn't find anything about the
Dang.
prisoners. I'm assuming they probably killed them.
Yeah. Ah,
I'm assuming.
Well-
I was thinking it the whole time. I was like, what about the guys that were
yeah.
on it?
Like,
I don't think
they're
found
like, yes, our guys are here. Oh, they're going away.
it. Yeah, but they had some. Well, it did say something about they were able to rescue a few of the captured.
Oh, good.
So probably they got out
Good.
there. Yeah, but they got a lot of fame for that, not just in America, but Naples.
Mhm.
They dubbed them the terror of the foes. The Pope pretty much said, America, I'm paraphrasing here, so don't direct quote me on this, but the United States was able to take out these anti-Christian barbarians in one night, and Europe couldn't do it for a very long period of time.
Boom.
Boom, mic drop. So he was famous. He went on to command ships and successfully command ships after that. And then you go through the War of 1812. So 1812,
Our pivotal war.
the pivotal war, right? So 1812 to 1816. So I want to touch on something real quick. I can't touch on everything he did, or it would be here for hours, right?
Right.
So the biggest thing that I saw, which I thought was funny. So who are we against in the War of 1812? What country? Britain, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was like pissed. Britain started fucking around again. So he had no offense to my British friends. All right. It's a long time ago. Don't get butthurt. But so we had to take control, right? We had to take care of business. So they went out and captured the HMS, Her Majesty's ship, Royal Navy, right? Macedonian.
Side note, did you know that the Royal Navy is the only military branch in England to carry the royal title. And they used to have a royal army, but she took it away.
She took it away. Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
They're a bunch of fucking outlaws, huh?
I learned that when I was in London.
It's true,
with,
though. Yeah, I think you told me that.
NATO.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you told me that.
Yeah.
I love that side note, by the way. That was great.
Yeah.
So
Adding to it.
the Macedonian, Her Majesty's ship, Macedonian, took it, either captured or killed everybody on it, brought that ship back to US, renamed it the USS Macedonia, and used that against the Brits
Yeah.
in later battles in the War of 1812.
We'll take your ship and use it against you.
That's pimp.
That is.
And by that time, he was a Commodore. He was in charge of 3 or 4. Essex was one of them. The USS is one of them. But yeah, I love that story.
That's cool.
So he became like a captain at age 25.
Wow.
So you're talking about the War of 1812. He was born in what, 1779? So what was he? 10, 11, 20, 30 years old? 31, something like that.
God.
Commodore, because he died at 41.
What?
And I'm about to tell you why.
What?
I'm about to tell you why.
So hold on a second. Let's just put this into perspective because Heath has just served almost 26 years.
Yeah. This
And
dude was a
you-
full bird captain in less time than I've served.
And how old are you?
45.
My God.
You got to think people died young back then. They probably got a lot of
Well,
spot promotions.
They did. They died young, but they also were more grown up than I guess we are.
Right. They were selling at kids. They were doing this stuff as kids. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, and that's why people had so many kids back then. Because if they had 12 kids, they lost 6. They got 6 to survive.
That's not their attitude.
Meh. No, that's not what they did. I'm sorry.
They're not animals.
Death is part of life.
It is true.
But he did not die of natural causes at 41.
What? Okay.
All right.
I'm interested.
So there's this Commodore Barron. I think his name was Barron or Barton. Let me look it up real quick. I'm having a brain fart.
I'm gonna get another drink.
Okay. Damn, you're ready to get drunk.
Yep.
You're gonna edit this out, right?
Mhm.
How's the storytelling so far?
Great.
Good. Okay.
I'm into it. So into it. How much alcohol is it?
5.
That's better than most of them before.
Is that better or worse?
I mean, most of them before. All right. Please.
Proceed.
Proceed.
Yeah. So one. I'm sorry.
Please proceed.
I'm sorry. He sees me here. All right. He brought the dogs down with him, loud ass mutts. All right. So there was a Commodore. Talking about a Commodore that when Decatur was a young lieutenant, he worked for this guy during the Quasi War, maybe even the Barbary Wars. So this guy was a fuck up, I guess. So he screwed up and around
It's
the.
an F word.
I'm sorry.
We'll put the explicit filter on.
He screwed up, I guess. So around 1806-ish time frame, he had lost a battle with the Brits. Some little, I forgot the name. It was a little battle that he lost his ship to, and he went to court martial.
Wow.
Decatur was on the court martial.
Oh.
Found him guilty of not being prepared. He lost his commission. He lost the ability to command anything for 5 years. So Decatur at the time is like basically saying this dude's trash, piece of shit, sucks, sucks at life, whatever. So old James Barron challenged him to a duel. That's how they rolled back in.
Don't you wish you could go to mass and court martial and be like, you know what, sir, I don't agree with you. Duel.
Duel, yeah. Gonna fucking shoot your ass. But This was like March 1820-ish, I believe. That's when he died, I believe, March 22nd, going off the top of my head. But anyway, so shot into a duel. So in these duels, everybody, the duelers get a second, right? They're man, right? They're second in charge, their second guy. So Decatur chose Bainbridge, ship named after him. So Bainbridge was his second. I forgot who who Baron chose, but it doesn't matter to the story. But they met up. I think it was in DC somewhere. And they were going to, at 9 o'clock on the 22nd, they're going to duel it out. So this whole time, right? I mean, they're talking shit, or a lot of shit talking. They really had a disdain for each other, right?
Wow.
And they said this was settling. So they, normally dueling, you face back to back, you walk forward so many paces, you turn around and shoot. That's not how they did it. They never turned their backs. They backed up 8 paces. And the judge, whoever it was, said, I'm gonna count to 3. You cannot shoot, you cannot shoot before I say 1 or after I say 3.
So you could go 1 pop.
Yeah, or 2 pop. But after say 3, you can't say nothing. You can't say that before 1. So they do their paces. 1, both shoot. So Decatur struck Baron in the below the abdomen somewhere. Baron struck Decatur in the pelvic area, severing arteries. So, but after that, he was like, they were both like, Baron was totally upset. They were both upset that they shot each other, right? So Baron, they were basically bunch of love between each other, between them after it was over. Like, farewell, my friend. I'm sorry, my friend. It was a lot of my friend this, my friend that. It was weird. I guess if you like try to kill somebody, I guess all the anger's gone for some reason. I don't know.
I'm just gonna say, how guys mostly just like fight and like
it's over
knock
afterwards.
each other
Yeah.
out, and it's over, and then you're best friends.
Right.
But I guess back in the day, they didn't know that they could just hit them with their fist
Oh,
and feel the same way.
They got them guns.
That's dope.
But he severed the artery, so he was bleeding pretty bad, and they took him to his house so they could care for him and stuff, and the doc could be there. So his house was in Lafayette Square in Washington, D.C. Beautiful place. He lived there less than maybe a year to 1.5 years before he was shot. So that's where he died, March of 1820. Died in his home after a fatal gunshot wound in a duel.
My goodness.
But
after everything he's been through.
I know, it's crazy. Thief in the night, burned down a whole freaking ship.
After everything he went through, he died in a stupid duel.
In a duel where he was a good shot too. This dude was supposed to be a badass
I don't care if he's a good shot or not. The duel was dumb in itself.
But he had some cool quotes. Can I talk about him real quick?
Yeah.
Okay, so one of his quotes he's famous for, a few here. Our country, in her intercourse with foreign nations, may she always be in the right, but our country, right or wrong. Basically, it's still our country, whether she's right or wrong. My country, right or wrong, will still be my country. That's another one. It is part of a sailor's life to die well. Those are cool. And I got one more. This one really a little bit about his leadership that he was known for. So, crewmen respected Decatur as much as his superiors. One who served under him remembered Decatur giving his men advice on how to be successful. This is his advice. The first quality of a good seaman is personal courage, he said. The second is obedience to orders. The third, fortitude under sufferings. Embrace the suck, right?
Yeah.
To these may be added an ardent love of country. I need say no more. I am confident you all possess them all.
Wow.
And I want to thank Alex Flores, good buddy, he sent that last one. He sent that to me.
Flow Rider
sent it to me, and it kind of inspired me to do this little story about Commodore Stephen Decatur. Like I said, he had 5 ships named after him. Tons of cities, towns named after him. Streets in New Orleans named after him. I'm sure there's more Decatur streets out there, but that's the one in the French Quarter. And he was a trailblazer in the U.S. Navy at his infancy. And he is remembered. And a lot of the stuff we do today is because of his actions back in the early 1800s.
Wow. So once we are done with this coronavirus, we're going to go out to Decatur Street and drink a toast to him.
Yep.
But today we raise our glass.
Stephen Decatur.
Stephen Decatur.
What's that again? What'd you say?
Stephen Decatur.
Decatur.
About
I
it.
call him Stephen.
Yeah. But we'll get out there and we'll go live on our Facebook page.
Yeah. To Stephen Decatur.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us.
And as always, we wish you fair winds.
And following seas. How was the story though?
Good.
Really? I was very unprepared for it. But I think I did all right for somebody who's unprepared. It was.
You were unprepared.
Yeah, I was unprepared.
Hey.
I learned all that yesterday.
Hey. Hold it. I would never have known you were unprepared.
Really?
Baby, you were answering questions that I was asking.